What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Masters of the Cultureverse. I'm your friendly neighborhood blurred, Caleb Edward Edley, here with my guest co-host, the mighty Ethan Ragsdale. What's up, Ethan?
I love the introduction, man. I wish I got that like every day. Like I wish when I woke up for work, my girlfriend would do that with breakfast. The mighty Ethan Ragsdale. That would be like, I hope she's hearing this right now in the next door because that'd be fucking lit.
Oh yeah, let her know. Just like
I will. I'm gonna show her this and be like, this is all I want. Like I don't
Yeah.
want any other presents. Just give me this and we'll be Gucci.
have a recorded voice. That could be like your alarm in the morning or something.
Yeah, just in her little voice, the mighty Ethan
Yeah.
Ragsdale. It'd be fucking lit, dude. That'd be legit.
Awesome. Now, Clay's a little busy tonight, so we asked our good friend Ethan here to fill in, and he happily obliged us.
Of course.
So thank you for joining us, Ethan, or joining me, and I'm sure Clay is thankful as well.
I'm used to it, man. I'm second best in life, so it's all good.
I don't know if that's true. Clay and I do this thing. We do what you're reading, what you're watching. You just something you found interesting that you started watching over the week, or if you were reading a comic book or something. So
yeah, I love that banter. With everybody, I'm trying not to pick the mainstream kind of answer here, but I guess that's what our audience can relate to, I guess. So Queen's Gambit is really what I'm into right now.
Okay.
On Netflix. I didn't think I was going to buy into the hype. It hasn't gotten an insane amount, but a good amount from followers that I'm following on Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that. I never really have been a big fan of chess. I personally don't know how to play. I don't really know much about it. But I love the show. The first episode is one of the greatest episodes I think Netflix has been a part of. I'm a fan. As I know, you know, Caleb, one of my favorite things in media is origin stories. I mean, that's my absolute favorite. And so episode one really, really fucking delivered. I find myself a little bit on my phone as the episodes go on, and it's out of subconscious, you know, I'm losing a little bit interest. It's still great. It's so far, I'd probably give it overall. I think I just finished episode 4 last night, I believe. Either that or on episode 5, I don't really remember, somewhere in between there. And it's a limited series. There's 7 episodes, and I mean, right now I'd give it probably solid 8 out of 10. I can't go higher than an 8. First episode 9.5. I mean, I thought it was going to go with that, but after that she ages right away. She's 7 or 8 years old in the beginning, and then just goes up. And then it's the same lady who's playing, like, maybe she's like 20 now, but she also played her when she was 13. So I found that really odd. Like,
that's a little weird.
She lied and said she was 15 when she was trying to get adopted, but in reality she was 13. You could see her fuck up, and the head magistrate at the adoption place was like, you know, so she was trying to play 13, and now she's like, as the same actress, having sex and doing drugs and shit, and like that bitch is trying to play 13. I mean, it is what it is. I really love the actress, and she's she's really portraying the personality across. But that bugged me a little bit. I don't know, just little things like that kind of bugged me. I just felt lazy. I don't know.
I totally understand. I'm trying to look up how old she actually is. She's 24.
And man, maybe not even lazy. How about just don't fucking add that? Like, just if you're going to skip a little bit, because obviously they felt fine skipping from 8 to 13 to 20, right? So just scrap it and add something else in. I just really bother me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like they could have found like a 13-year-old or something. Yeah.
Literally, they found one actress for one episode. So for episode 2, when she was supposed to be 13 through 15, 16, find another one. And then for the last 5, you can have the same woman.
Yeah, because I'm looking at her and she does not look 13
in any way at all. Like, the only thing they changed was how she dressed, and I'm like, okay, I mean, it's just a little nitpicky things, but at the end of the day, I think it's just lazy because they really don't have an excuse of why they couldn't have fixed that.
Right. I guess that's where I would have to suspend my disbelief. But no, I've been seeing a lot about that, and I've been curious. Has it inspired you to want to learn how to play chess?
I downloaded the app on my phone last night because really quarantine helped me a lot. I've picked up a lot of new hobbies, I guess, because I don't stick with most. I picked up jiu-jitsu about 2 years ago, and I've stuck with that pretty often. It's not like I do it religiously, but I try a couple of times a week. But I picked up guitar during quarantine, like during the lockdown, pretty seriously, and I've picked it up and I've stuck with it. I mean, I practice 4 or 5 times a week, usually about an hour at a time. So, I mean, decently heavy with it. But to answer your question, I really want to get into chess now too. I just want to learn. I mean, I think it's really just basic using critical thinking skills, and it's just advanced checkers. And I love doing stuff like that. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I like using my brain. I really like to do things, consistency, repetition, and chess is definitely that. And she said it really well, like within the show, that it's like, this is how I describe what I like my life to be. I don't like strictness. I kind of like my life to be like a backyard, but with a fence. I like structure, but within that structure, I can do whatever I want. And that's how she described chess. Like, you have this world within these squares. Don't ask me the number because I fucking forgot. But squares on
like
a chessboard.
64, maybe.
I was going to say 62 off the top. So you're probably right if I had to guess. And within that 64, you can kind of make your own world. And that kind of interested me. So I think I'm going to try and learn. I don't want to be fucking great or anything, but I would like to like play a game and like know what I'm doing, you know?
Sure, yeah, no.
Because that's my problem. When I try to do things, I want to be the best. So I want to like not do that. I'm like, I want to suck at chess, but like suck enough to play.
Suck enough to play. That's good. That's good. No, yeah, I was at home for Thanksgiving and all that. And so my mom, she likes Lifetime and Hallmark movies and stuff. So I started my Christmas movie watching, I guess, this past week. And those Lifetime and Hallmark movies are just terrible. The acting is horrible. I don't know how she sits there and watches them constantly. But we did watch one called The USS Christmas, and it was filmed in Wilmington, which is where I live, which is was pretty interesting because you could see like downtown and all these places that I've been to. But the one part that really just took me out of it is, all right, so it's about this like Tiger cruise, which is where like friends and family of the Navy, they get to go on one of the ships and yada, yada, yada. And so they make port in New York at one point, but the whole thing was shot in downtown Wilmington. And so they have like this street that they're shooting down, and I recognize this Waffle House. I'm like, oh, that's Wilmington. I know all these spots. And then they just CGI'd a New York skyline in the background, and it was so funny.
My God.
Like, I'll see if I can find a screenshot or something and send
so
it to you, because it was
cringe.
Hilarious. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're in New York, but no, that's Wilmington. I know exactly. That's like, I can walk there and be there in like 10 minutes.
That's wild. What a combo. Wilmington and New York, they couldn't be further apart as cities. Jesus.
Really. I was like, you can just film in New York, honestly.
Yeah.
You would think,
one of
but
the
I guess
popular places ever to film.
Yeah, I guess they wanted to save money, in New York, or Wilmington's cheap, I guess.
Wilmington, as it's known, New York type B.
That's what it is.
That's what it's
if you ever need a New York looking place, just come to Wilmington.
If you want a New York trip on a budget, go to Wilmington.
Don't do that. It's nothing like New York. No, yeah, but announcements and shouts. We didn't have any emails, but make sure you email us at masters.cultureverse@gmail.com. Send us your announcements, your shouts, whatever you want. We'll say it online. We'll say it on the air. We'll say it wherever. I have an announcement. I am thinking about starting to stream Twitch, like start game. I cannot speak right now. Good grief.
You got it.
Streaming games on Twitch. There we go. So my Twitch name is Noble Progeny, same as my gamer tag. If you want to add me, I don't give a fuck. NobleProgeny, no spaces. And I'll start streaming on Twitch. I think I might do maybe Tuesday, Wednesday streams, maybe some Sundays thrown in there or something, maybe some random streams. I also saw on Twitch that you can do like a watch party stream. So maybe during Christmas we'll do some Christmas streams, some Christmas movie watch parties or something like that. We'll see how it goes. I gotta get this internet thing figured out, because I don't know if I have enough bandwidth to stream and do everything I want to do.
Yeah,
so we'll see how it works. Yeah, it is. And I live in an apartment, and the apartment has like I pay for the internet separately than the apartment, but the apartment's like, all right, but you got to get this internet, you got to get Spectrum.
Yeah,
and
same here.
Spectrum sucks. So I'm like stuck with this shitty internet. I'm like, can't we, like, how is that not like a monopoly or something? I should be able to choose.
That's the same with me. I live in a condo, and I rent from a private landlord. So, but it's weird. It's like it's combined. It's like I kind of like a HOA, but not really. It's like a management company owns the place, but individual people own the condos. And so I rent from a landlord, but you had to be approved by the management company to live here.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to buy Xfinity. Like, that's the same. I had never heard anyone else having to do that, but like they forced us to buy Xfinity. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't get an option. But
Yeah.
I mean, it was really shitty, but I just upgraded to like a terabyte. I mean, I kind of paying a lot, but it's worth it because when I used to podcast, I would fucking go in and out every time, but like it's doing well now. So it's worth it. But I hate that. Yeah, it's 100% monopoly. You're just forced to, it's like, hey, give us money. You have to.
Yeah,
but they
exactly.
have but it's definitely monopoly. It's just capitalism. They have a contract with that company saying that your tenants, have to have this, have our company.
In an ideal world, I would be able to get fiber.
Yeah.
But that's not the world we live in, I guess. But
not yet.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Hi, YouTube. How's it going? We're going to jump right into sports, and usually this is where Clay takes over. But today, Ethan's handling sports.
Yeah, man. So let's get into it. I guess I'll get into the pain and misery first. I mean, being a Panthers fan, bro, like I'm not a very consistent person, but I've been a Panthers fan since, I was a kid. My dad's had season tickets since 95, since they were started as a team. And we just consistently do the same shit over and over again. It's like we're the best of the worst or the worst of the best. I can't figure it out. It switches every fucking year, dude. Right. And it's like, I want us to lose. I wanted us to lose. But when we keep doing this shit where we win some, lose some, win some, lose some, it's just like we're literally a mediocre fucking team and we're going to get like a 10 pick. Like, who gives a shit about the fucking number 10 pick? No one remembers that. Like, either get into the playoffs or give me number one. There's no in between. Right. And of course we lose a fucking close one yesterday. The Vikings 28-27. I think Joey Sly, he had a chance to win, and I wanted us to win.
He missed the kick.
54, 53, something like that. I mean, it was bad. It wasn't like he had a shot. It was botched from the beginning. It went, on the TV it went right. So he botched it left.
Yeah.
It was ass. It is what it is. I mean, I saw somebody be like, oh, Joey Sly sucks dick. I'm like, dude, we had 3 points from the red zone the whole game.
Yeah.
And you're going to blame Joey Sly? No. Like, our defense had the majority of the points. Jeremy Chin is like, he's the only person in the NFL to ever score defensively on back-to-back snaps.
Wow.
Ever happened. That's an NFL record. He scored, they were both pickup fumbles to the house, which is really tight. But obviously, if our offense can't get it going, you know, I mean, it's not really Joe Brady's fault. Joe Brady's a beast. He'll be gone after this year. And for those of you that don't know Joe Brady, I'm super really into football, so I know all the personnel. Maybe not the common NFL fan doesn't know who Joe Brady is. He was the one who was responsible for Joe Burrow's phenomenal season with LSU last year. He was the offensive personnel for LSU, and we scooped him up, which is fucking awesome. But I do not think we'll have him much longer. Yeah, we're 4-8, but Joe Brady's doing a lot with nothing. I mean, we have nothing on offense. CMC's hurt. We have Teddy B. I love Teddy B, but he's not a franchise QB. If he's a backup, he's probably going to be the best backup. So he's like the Panthers. He's the best of the worst, the worst of the best. You got your pick, one of the two. But he's not franchise. But Joe Brady is making Mike Davis look good. He's making Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, and DJ Moore, whose x-rays just came back negative because he got hurt yesterday. So yeah, not to talk too much about that game, but like, we're going to end up with a 5-10 pick, which is ass. Because I really wanted T-Law or Justin Fields in the draft, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, I thought it might be possible.
Yeah. And for those of you that are Panthers fans that are listening, Zach Wilson out of BYU, he's a really, really, really good quarterback. He was hurt last year. That's why no one knows of him. But I'm a closet, weird, guilty pleasure BYU fan. I don't know. I had no idea why. They're fucking Mormons, but I just think that shit's cool. Whatever. And I'm like the most opposite from a fucking Mormon there is. But anyway, Zach Wilson's a beast. And my point being is if we're at 5-10, and I would love to take him. He reminds me of Justin Herbert. Like, I think he's got a laser, a rocket. So if we get him there, I think it'd be tight. So let's talk about some other games. One thing I want to talk about is how the fucking Giants are like 4-7 and they're leading the NFC East. That just shows how bad the NFC East is.
Yeah. Jess and I were talking about that yesterday. She's like, one of these teams is going to go to the playoffs.
They have to.
They're going to get demolished, but their records are so shit.
It's just how the divisions go, dude. Before, I think it was don't get me wrong. I don't remember the year. I think it was the Giants with the worst record ever to make it in the playoffs at 7-9. Maybe not Giants, but I know for a fact it was 7-9. That record's going to get broken this year. I mean, most likely. At this point, the best record that the NFC East can have is 9-7, but that they have to win out. You know, they have to win out if that happens. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think they might win 5 or 6 games and go to the playoffs. So
wild.
Bears offense fucking sucks. Packers 140-125. Bears, oh my God, they're just miserable, dude. Mitch Trubisky's ass. They can't do anything on offense. Matt Nagy needs to be fired. And it's just a shame what they're doing to Allen Robinson, because Allen Robinson is a complete beast. But he's never had a pass catcher. He had Blake Bortles in his career. Mitch Trubisky, I think he had someone else who was complete ass. But hopefully he'll go somewhere that has a decent pocket passer. Chiefs beat the Bucks 27-24. Tom Brady is good against bad teams and bad against good teams. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 picks, and simply that's how it is. Tom Brady's not as good as he once was. That's how I feel there. I don't think there's anything else I give a shit about. Browns, I'll say this, dude. I love the Browns. Like, I'm a closet BYU fan for college. I'm a closet Browns fan for the NFL. Like I've always said, if the Panthers weren't a team, I'd be a Browns fan.
Mm-hmm.
They're the worst 8-3 team. And I like the Browns, dude. I pull for them, but they're the worst 8-3 team, man. I mean, Baker Mayfield, I fucking love him. One of my fantasy league names is Be Right Back sucking Baker's dick. I fucking love Baker, dude. I love him, but he right now is not good. And I hate saying that, but he's not. He's jumpy in the pocket. He's freaking out. He's not calm. He usually throws to his first read, and he's just not what he was his rookie year in Oklahoma. I think he can be that, but at this moment, he's not good. They beat the Jaguars. Great. Jaguars are 1-10. I mean, you know, whatever. They won by 2. Jaguars are I wish the Panthers were the Jaguars. Like, just fucking suck, dude. We're not going to win anything. We're going to win 5 games and do absolutely dick with it.
Right.
Any other good games? Fucking Thanksgiving sucked ass. We had the only good game taken away from us, the Ravens and Steelers, which might get played by 2022. They keep fucking postponing that shit, dude. It was supposed to be tomorrow night, and now it's officially Wednesday night, officially as of this moment. But if you're listening to this podcast, it might be pushed further.
No.
I don't know. Bills Chargers 27-17. That was a really ugly fucking game. There's so many turnovers. A lot of ugly shit. Justin Herbert had his worst game of the year, which is saying something because he still had a decent game. But Bills are another not great 8-3 team. They're better than the Browns. Bills, Browns right now, they're both 8-3. I'm taking Bills all day. But if Browns didn't exist, I think Bills would be the worst 8-3 team.
Yeah.
I mean, at this moment, dude, I don't really see anyone stopping the Chiefs. I mean, not even Saints at 9-2 without Drew Brees. I mean, the motherfucker had 15 broke ribs. I can barely count that high. He had like 11 on one side and 8 on another. Like, he had 11 broken ribs on one side. I'm like, dude, I didn't know you had 11 ribs on a side. How do you break 11 that I didn't even know you fucking had?
No, yeah.
That was wild.
I'm trying to count my ribs now.
Dude, there's no, and I don't know if I have a condition, but it's definitely obvious. One of my ribs I already have protrusive ribs, but one of mine is like out of place or something. It sticks out like it's literally not connected to the rest of my cage. I've always felt it like it's just dangling. I never asked the doctor about it or anything, but I've always felt it.
Just like a floating rib.
Literally, it's like sticks out and it's not connected to the rest of my rib cage. So if I was like eating a rack, every time I eat a rack of ribs, I'm like, I wonder what the fuck my ribs would look like. Like that would be like all fucking lathered and like discombobulated and shit. Speaking of ribs, let's get back to sports. I think that's it for NFL. There's really nothing else. I mean, it was supposed to be a good game between Titans and Colts. They were both 7-3, but Titans beat the absolute shit up. Derrick Henry went the fuck off. If you just for fantasy, just a quick little snippet. If you had Derrick Henry or fucking Tyreek Hill, you pretty much won your week. They both went the hell off. Tyreek Hill had like 2 or 3 touchdowns. It was insane. And I went against both of them in different leagues. So that's really fucking awesome.
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I texted Clay and I was like, dude, I'm gonna go 3-0 this week. And I might go 0-3. So we'll fucking see how that goes, because the whole Steelers game's really fucking me. I had a couple players Well, not a couple. I just had Deontay in a couple leagues. So
Damn.
yeah.
How about that fight?
All right, yeah, let's talk about it. Okay, I didn't want to get to that first because I wanted to save that for the good part. How about that fight? So,
wait, go for it. What are you?
No, this is it. I'm ready.
Okay.
Logan Paul, Nate Robinson. There was 2 fights before that. I watched them both, but no one gives a fuck about those. Those are just up and coming guys.
Sure.
Logan Paul, Nate Robinson, dude. So I gotta set aside my personality and just objective analytics.
Mm-hmm.
My personality is I fucking hate Logan Paul, and I won't. Or excuse, not Logan Paul. It's Jake Paul. I want to piss on that dude. He fucking sucks. He's a piece of shit person. Like, literally, he's a piece of shit person. Like, he's like, oh, I've had it rough, and the dude is fucking driving Lambos and Ferraris and all that shit. Like, I'm all about stunting, but don't lie about your childhood when you and your brother are both like social media stars at the height of social media, you know, and making all this fucking money. And that's their personality. I just hate people like that, right? Because that's the opposite of who I am. Like, I don't know. I keep it pretty low key. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a humble guy, but like, I don't know.
Not Jake Paul.
Exactly. Like Jake Paul is anomalous to humility, if humility is a word.
It is now.
Yeah, it is now. But yeah, he fucking sucks, dude. I hate that guy, man. There's nothing likable about him. However, he is not a bad boxer. He's not. Not on a social media YouTube scale, but on an actual boxing scale, he's not bad. I mean, what sticks out to me, I love to level and rate things. I would give him on an actual professional boxing scale, I'd probably give him a 5 out of 10. I mean, he's not that bad. Nate Robinson let us all down, you know, and like I said it in the group chat, you know, Jake has him in size and wingspan. And I thought Nate could have the power, maybe a little bit of speed, but he didn't have any of that. I mean, Jake had the timing. Like, I mean, he's obviously had training. You look at him like, I love football, but UFC is a big part of my life and has been since 2005, you know, so 15 years, I pretty much haven't missed a big UFC event in 15 years. And, you know, I like to analyze that and I know what to look for on the screen, right? Not to say I know how to do that myself, but I definitely know what to look for when it comes to the eye test, you know, and he has some skills, like some things that he's negative in is when he goes for the haymakers, he kind of puts his head to his left armpit. So he's not really looking. So he's kind of swinging for the fences there. But when he comes with his 1-2, his jab and his cross, like he looks decent. He knows what he's doing. But the one that laid him down, he wasn't looking, but it doesn't fucking matter. I mean, if you lay somebody down, like he laid out Nate, because he knocked Nate down 3 times. Yeah. And they were all solid knockdowns. One of them, I think he kind of fell forward. But the first one in the first round was a good knockdown. And the one that finished him, we finished him in the second round. And I follow some guy on Twitter, a UFC guy back in about 2 months ago. And I didn't want to believe him. He said, there's no way Nate Robinson lasts past 2 rounds with Jake Paul. And I was like, nah, I think he takes it, you know, to 6, because it's at 8 rounds. And I was like, he takes it to 6. The guy was right. I mean, Nate Robinson literally had no business in there. And this is the thing. It's not that it blew a lot of people's minds, because Jake Paul could be for real for this social media type fighting shit. If you put him in there with Triple G, Canelo, I think he'd get murdered. But of course, he's kind of like this concept we were having, the best of the worst of the best. He could definitely be the best of the worst, the best of the not boxing stars. Yeah, he could be the best. I don't know if you follow, but like I said, I'm big into MMA, and there's this fight with this concept with Dylan Dennis and Conor McGregor. Dylan Dennis is a huge jiu-jitsu guy, black belt. He's fought in Bellator. He's 2-0, but he's a social media mouth offer. He talks a lot of shit on social media, and he's got his following count up because he mouths off and hangs out with Conor McGregor. That's how he got his rise to fame, if you want to call it. He's not really that much of a fighter. He really rode Conor McGregor's coattails. I do like the guy. But anyways, Daniel Cormier came out and said Conor McGregor will dust Jake Paul, but Dylan Dennis needs to stop because Jake Paul will beat Dylan Dennis. And I looked at it and I was like, before the fight, I was like, Dylan will murder him. But if it's just boxing, I think Jake Paul has him. And if it's an MMA, he'll bring some jiu-jitsu, some ground game to him. But Jake Paul, like after that fight, I was like, fuck, man, he's just like the Patriots to me. Just fucking, you want to see them lose, but he's probably going to stick around. This is not his last fight. And he's not going to take one with like the guys on the undercard below him. They would probably beat Jake Paul because they're professionals. They know what they're doing. And you'll probably never hear those guys. They'll probably fight until they're 40 years old, have a sustainable career. They'll feed their families off boxing, and you will never hear them. That's what makes me so mad is Jake Paul is just this YouTube social media star, and he has this name, and he's going to get a couple more fights. He might fight KSI, who his brother fought and beat, but there's really no point because Jake Paul would murder him. But I'm interested to see. There'll be some more crossovers. There'll be another social media star will step up, or some guy for the NBA will be like, I want to claim the NBA back, because I saw Nick Young, Swaggy, from the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if he's still with him, but he's like, we do not claim him. He does not speak for us. And it was, at the end of the day, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to watch. And I was a little upset, dude, because I wanted at least a little bit of a fight. But Nate Robinson put nothing in. The first round, it was 1-2. Jake Paul's murdering me, and he goes in for the clinching like the dirty boxer, and they get separated.
Yeah. No, yeah. I saw a lot of people clowning him on social media, a lot of celebrities and people like us, normal people alike. And I don't remember who said it. I want to say Snoop Dogg, but I don't think it was Snoop Dogg. But somebody said, like, it's easy to make jokes when, like, you wouldn't step in the ring.
Oh, shit. I know exactly who you're talking about. I saw it. I think we posted in the group chat. I just don't remember the name.
Right.
It was an NBA star.
Yeah.
Somebody from the NBA.
I think so. But, they had a point. Like, all these people are, like, making jokes and stuff. But, like, 95, 98% of them wouldn't.
You're not going to do it. It's so simple. It's just the same thing. One of my biggest things is, and especially as we're on the same wavelength, right? We're entering our late 20s, 30s approaching. Our fucking frontal lobe has fully formed. We're not fucking idiots anymore like we were in high school. And the biggest plague, I do enjoy social media as far as Instagram. I go on it often, and that's where I get most of my news and how I'm caught up with the world. Mm-hmm. But that's the plague is ESPN, SportsCenter, and Bleacher Report's comment section on Instagram is just so cancerous. Like, it's so problematic. And with the girl for the Vanderbilt kicker, Sarah, I forgot her last name.
Yes.
It was her first time. And just people are like awful. Just like, oh, y'all want equality. I hope she gets rocked so she can know what it feels like to be a man. Like, just fucking absolute asinine shit. But to get back to the point at hand, talking about the fight, it's just these people want to mouth the fuck off. Like, it doesn't matter if you'd step in there beating Nate Robinson. It's just hypothetical. Are you actually going to fucking train and put in the time to do it? Like, yeah, I can hate Jake Paul and do all this, but watching that fight in between, or the times he's mouthed off and spewing bullshit out of his mouth, he's training. Yeah, he was getting in there, putting in the minutes, putting in the time. And that's why I'm kind of reserved now from talking so much shit. Mm-hmm. I never talk shit like, oh, he's going to get his ass beat. I never said that. I talk shit about him as a person. I don't like who he is as a person. And now it's just like, I'm not going to talk shit about his boxing skills. Like, he obviously, he did everything in his favor. He knew that he's going to call out this guy who has somewhat of a name. If you know NBA, you know who Nate Robinson is. He's known for being short. He's known for being a nice guard, has some skills. He played it right. He knew that he could beat him. He knew he had some cachet to his name, and he went out and beat him handily. And he's going to pick his next opponent the same way. He's not going to pick a guy who has a great boxing record but doesn't have a name. That's the last person he's going to pick. Yeah.
Speaking of beating, moving on to video games, I beat Miles Morales over Thanksgiving. Are you still an Xbox boy?
I am up until, I know we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but up until I can get my hands on the PlayStation 5, I'm about to cancel my Xbox Live and everything, just about to shut down the Xbox world for me and transition to PlayStation.
There we go.
I made that decision last year when PS5 came out, because I got the Xbox because it's just what my brother had. So I played the PS2. I went through that whole generation, my whole life, the PS2, when it came out, everything. I played the PS2, every console related games. And then Xbox 360, my brother got, and I kind of just stayed with Xbox 360 there, probably 2010, a little bit before high school, actually 2008 when I got into that. And then I just stuck with Xbox ever since. And the only reason is just because my friends, I had made friends on there and we just kept up. Sure. But I'm definitely more of a PlayStation person as far as their console specific games, because I like story games. Mass multiplayer games are fun, but they're not my favorite. I love story games. I like I like emotional, drama-filled games. The one that comes to mind is Last of Us. I have never played it, but I'm a weird person. I've watched every single bit of The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 on YouTube. I've watched the whole game. I watched some probably cumulatively 30, 40 hours. I don't know, but I watched every single second.
At least, yeah.
Yeah, I watched it all. So I've never played the game, but I know exactly
But
how
I
it
know
happens.
what happens.
Yeah.
No, yeah, PlayStation definitely has the better exclusives. The Spider-Man games being one of them, in my opinion. But yeah, so I finished it. It's got a great story. I've like when I say finished it, I mean I've not just the story. Like I've done the story, all the side quests. I've 100%,
100%,
all the
yeah.
districts, everything. Now the thing about this game is, you can't actually unlock everything. Like there's one suit, a couple of gadget upgrades, and a couple of skills that you can't get unless you do a new game plus, which for those of you who don't know, it's where after you've beat the game, you unlock this thing called new game plus. You start a new game, but you start that game with everything you've already unlocked. So all your skills, all your levels, all your suits, you have that in that new game, but you just start everything over. So you basically start the story over and all the side missions and everything. And so you can't unlock a few things until you do that. So I have that to do, which I was thinking on my streams, that might be like one of the first things I stream is doing that new game plus of Miles, just so if like maybe somebody hasn't seen the story, I don't know how you haven't, like people have been streaming this like left and right. I've been looking at Twitch. But if you want to like jump in, you haven't played it, you don't want spoilers or whatever, I'm starting at the beginning. We can go through it again together, or I'll go through it again. You can go through it for the first time, whatever you want. But yeah, no, it's a great game. Highly recommend. Is it better than the previous game? I don't know that you can really compare them. I say that a lot. I feel like it's a cop out, but the first Spider-Man game was like the first like legit like standalone kind of really good Spider-Man story and all that, because I mean we had like the Spider-Man movie games, and we had like what is it, Shattered Dimensions and stuff like that, but I feel like this was like the first like we're actually going to kind of try to build a world around this game. And I think Spider-Man Miles Morales really just took that and progressed it forward. Like there's connections to the previous game. It moves some plot elements along that haven't finished yet. Like they've teased stuff in the first game, and then they continued to tease it at the end of this game, which is really nice. I really liked to see that combination, and I'm hoping that in the next Spider-Man game, Spider-Man 2, that we'll be able to choose between Miles and Peter. Like, okay, I want to play for Peter as a little bit, I want to play as Miles for a little bit, and I'm sure there'll be missions where you have to choose one or the other, but I also want to have that choice.
Nice. So I guess I'm not as up to date and as caught up as you are. Miles Morales, I thought it was DLC. It's like extended version, or is it its own separate entity?
No, yeah, it's its own separate game. Here we go.
Okay.
If my green screen will work. There we go.
It's working.
There it is. It's its own game. Now, it's a smaller game than the first Spider-Man. Like, I don't remember exactly how many hours the first one was. Maybe 15, 20, maybe. This one I probably beat in like 6 or 7, 8 tops. It's significantly smaller, which they said it was going to be, and it's also cheaper for that reason. So I mean, I'm not complaining that I had to pay like full price for a shorter game or anything. They knew it was shorter because it's more like a like it's not a sequel per se, it's more like an offshoot, where that's why some people were thinking it was like a DLC, but no, it's like a full game. Like it's an actual game, it's just shorter.
Got you. What do you rate it out of 10 ultimately? Give me both for Spider-Man and Miles Morales.
For Spider-Man, that was like my favorite game.
You and
like
Clay are the same.
Do what?
I said you and Clay are the same. He always tells me that that's his favorite game of all time. I think Ghost of Tsushima is up there with him too, but I know that was his favorite.
I probably rate Spider-Man 9, and no, I'd rate Spider-Man like a 9.2, and I'll give Miles a 9. The only reason Miles is a little bit low, because they took things from Spider-Man and improved on it in Miles. Okay. The only reason I lowered the score is because Miles isn't a like full game like Spider-Man was.
Gotcha.
But if it was a full game, it'd definitely be like a 9.5, I'm sure. Because like I said, like everything from Spider-Man that we loved, like they heard like, oh, you guys like that? Okay. They built upon it and like leveled it up. So it wasn't like anything backslid, in my opinion. Like
EA, take notice.
Yeah. It was really nice on Insomniac's part.
That's awesome.
And Miles is my favorite superhero, so that's already like given him a big boost.
Yeah, I think mine too. I definitely Into the Spider-Verse. It was so crazy, dude, because there was no build up for it at all. One of my students said, "Mr. Rexley, you got to go watch it. It's so good." And so I took my girl the next day to the theaters, and my mouth was open. I was like, "What the fuck what is happening?"
Right.
I never heard about this. There was no build up for me. I think maybe like a week earlier I heard about it, but that was it. And it's my favorite Spider-Man media form ever, like
Yeah, no,
ever, out of any
took
comic, any game, anything.
it like blew everybody's mind. I'm sure like nobody was expecting it to be that good, and then it's just like like in your face. There's actually you can use the Into the Spider-Verse suit, and there's a mod. Like the suits have modifications like 25% more damage, blah blah blah. There's a mod on there where you can do the frame rate from Into the Spider-Verse, so it's got like that
Okay.
kind of choppy animation that they have in the movie, which is really cool.
That's sick.
Moving on, Marvel's Avengers still hasn't recouped development costs. Now, if you guys remember, I spent $200 on that like collector's edition. I'm not mad that I bought the collector's edition because, you know, I still got my cap. God, this green screen like blows. I still got my cap statue and my Hulk bobblehead over there, and like I've got stuff like that I wanted the collector's edition for. I also wanted the game to be good. Unfortunately, that didn't really happen. Have you played it, Ethan?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, I would suggest waiting until it goes on sale, because you think Miles Morales' story, you think that's short. I think the Avengers story is even shorter.
And the full game is out. Like, is it beta? There's no expansion on it.
No,
Like,
full game's out. It's
Okay.
been out. When did that come out? September?
Yeah, a couple months ago. I remember.
Yeah, I think it came out in September. And it just like it looks like, I've told Clay this and I've told the listeners this a few times, but it looks like they had an idea of what the game was going to be, and then about halfway through, some executive was like, no, the game needs to be this, so they had to shift, and it just doesn't it feels disjointed. It doesn't feel like a complete game. There's a lot of repetitiveness in it. The online feature of like playing with your squad or whatever is supposed to be the big seller, I guess, which
Sure.
I don't really need. I'd rather have a good Avenger story, but that it like feels like a Destiny, a knockoff Destiny kind of deal, but it's like all repetitive stuff. Like, go to this map, beat these guys, collect this thing. Go to this map, beat these guys, collect. And it's just not. It gets boring after a while, especially since we were supposed to get a DLC with like Hawkeye a month or so ago. They delayed that. We're supposed to get another one like this month, delayed that. Like, just nothing's happening with it. And I guess it's probably because they still haven't recouped their losses. But you would think if maybe they released a DLC or something, it would get more people to maybe buy it or buy the DLC or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give them some incentive.
Right. But yeah. And so, I mean, it's a decent game. It's all right. It's nowhere near Miles. I'd probably give it a 4.7, maybe a 5.
In my head, I rated it for you, and I thought you were going to say something like a 5. So that's right there. That's
right in there. Like, it's an average game. I wanted it to be better, and I'm trying to be unbiased because I would rate it lower because my expectations were higher, but I'm being like, this is the game we got. I'm rating this game, and I'd give it maybe like a 4.7 or 5.
And that's just the worst thing that can happen, because you know what that means to you. Like, the Avengers is huge for you. You know, I love it, but I wouldn't say it's intricate to me like Star Wars is, you know?
I was going to say, you're like a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, Star Wars is my number one as far as any form of medium. Star Wars is and always will be number one. And it's just like you have these blue ball games, you know, at Battlefront, and it's just it's the opposite of what you want. You're literally just fighting as these characters. That's not what Star Wars is, you know. And EA just, I fucking hate EA. If EA was a person, I would catch a fucking 25 to life charge, dude. Like, no doubt. And it's just to make it short, it's just you're pumping out this money-based system when in reality what you're connected to is something that's so enriched in origin stories and emotion and storytelling. You know, Star Wars is storytelling, and to make Battlefront, I'm just maybe anomalous opinion because that shit's a joke. Like, same with what, you know, Avengers rich in storytelling and there's emotion, these origin stories, how they became superheroes, how they combine, and they have this connection as a unit. and they just fucking pump out a shit ass game.
For real.
It just blows my mind because there's so many fucking intelligent game creators in this world, much smarter than I ever will be, and just get combined with the storyteller. And there's just that's what I think, in the gaming industry today, we're really let down. I think there could be so many more better games than there are. I know that's maybe lazy to say and maybe really critical to say, but I really do feel that way. I think that it's really money based, and the money's not there, and that's why these amazing concepts aren't being brought to life.
No, I agree. Real quick, did you play Fallen Order?
Yes.
How'd you like
it? It's the best Star Wars game. Man, maybe not. I love the Old Republic from maybe 2002, 2003. For the Xbox, I played it when I was a child. I loved it. I still play it sometimes. But the Fallen Order is very good. The critiques I have is that it's very puzzle-like. They take out some of the intricate storytelling, the meat, the emotion, and throw in some lazy puzzle, repetitive, monotonous shit. And it is difficult and it is hard. And it took me a while to beat it. And some listeners may listen, it's not fucking hard. Well, I suck at a lot of video games. I play video games for the time I have, the emotion to get back the story from it. So I did get that. The cutscenes were great. The dialogue was great. I thought they built up a great story. The beginning was fucking great. It blue-balled me a little bit. It came up with this awesome story. He was this outcast on this island with this creature who was his mentor, and then he fucking dies 5 minutes into the game. And it's just like, I thought they're about to be a band of brothers. They're going to have this great story. They're going to be running away from all this shit. But it's pretty much the same story from the beginning. They're facing the same antagonist until the end. I'm really bad with names. What is it? Seven Sisters? That's it.
Twisted Sister? Dark
Something
Sister?
like that. I'm really bad with names. Yeah. As a Star Wars fan, I should be ashamed, but I don't fucking remember. But yeah, at the end, you defeat her at the end, and it's a good game. I'd probably give it I feel like I want to give it higher than a 7.5 emotionally, but I think a 7.5 is what it needs to be, analytically, objectively speaking. The only critiques are because it's puzzle, monotonous shit. But the story and the planets and the depth of the planets and the gameplay itself's awesome. Yeah. The lightsaber moves, all that shit is really, really tight. So I do like it. I mean, I would play it again. I played it twice. So.
I agree. My least favorite part were the puzzles because they got kind of repetitive.
And it's lazy. It's lazy.
Yeah. So existing PS5 consoles are completely sold out, but we will be getting more before the end of the year, which is in a month. So hopefully they're coming because you got to think they want these in stores for the holidays, for Christmas and Hanukkah and all that. So they got to be coming into stores this week, right?
You would think so. I mean, my birthday is, what is it? Sometime soon. The coming days, Wednesday, 2 days. And the reason I'm saying that is because Jess has been trying to get me one for my birthday. And I looked at her, I took her by the cheeks. I said, stop. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. If I get a PlayStation 5 before 2021, and I'm not being emotional, I'm not being heightened here. It's going to be a miracle. If you get one before 2021, I was like, and she was like, well, that's the main present I wanted to get you for the holidays because my birthday and Christmas are pretty close.
Sure.
And I told her just give me one gift and call it a day. And I said this back in the summer. I thought there'd be a chance, but as November kept coming to an end, I'm just like, it's not going to happen because I'm big into that market as far as I don't want to say I'm big into reselling because I hate reselling, but I'm a part of that culture because I love shoes. And unfortunately, I like Supreme and stuff like that. And I do that for personal use. I don't really flip it for resale, but the stuff I like is in resale culture, which is what PlayStation 5 is. It's crazy. I read a statistic. I believe the number is 40% of all PS5 stocks are to people who are scalpers and people who are flipping it for more money. 40% of all PS5 stock. That's fucking insane. Only 60% of people who have bought it are actually going to use it. The 40%, and that's a rough number. It could be higher than that. Yeah, that's just a base number. It's disgusting.
Fucking stupid.
It's all about money, man.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat as you. I told Jess that's what I wanted for Christmas. My Jess. For those of you who don't know, Ethan's fiance, my girlfriend, they're both named Jessica. Hi, Jessicas, both of you. But no, I told her before, I was like, oh yeah, I want a PS5 for Christmas, not knowing it was gonna like sell like this. And I've told her other things I would, because I've given up on actually
Yes.
getting that. So I've told her other things that I'd rather have, or whatever. I did see Xbox slash Microsoft, whatever, is doing some kind of study to see why the PS5 is outselling the Xbox, which I'm sure they do these studies all the time, but they're like our system's got like better parts. Like it is, the Xbox is a stronger machine. Like what am I thinking? Like the circuitry, the specs are better,
Okay.
but the PS5 is outselling it like a motherfucker. And I don't, you don't even need to do a study, Microsoft. I will do the study for you right now. The answer is exclusives. You don't have exclusives. Nobody plays Halo anymore. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
That's where you're losing everybody.
I agree.
PlayStation's got Spider-Man. That Miles Morales, I'm sure that boosted sales. We know the new Spider-Man's coming. What Sony has all kinds of exclusives, and you've got Halo. That's all you've got. That's
have
your
to
issue.
adapt. You have to adapt. That's the main focal point here. I loved Halo as a kid. You know, I spent months combined of my life on Halo.
Mhm.
I don't give a shit about it now. I love that peace and time. I will cherish that. The memories I had, the friends I've made from that game, I'll cherish that. But that's its own encapsulated in time. It's not coming back because I've tried and they haven't done anything worthy. Halo 3
Right.
and on has been fucking complete ass. And Halo 1 and 2 are where it's at. After that, it's nothing. And they have to adapt. Like, look at Miles Morales. You know, was this 10 years ago? No, they're adapting and they're recreating new great stories. We don't want the same old thing that's shoved down our throats and you barely even fix it. If you're going to give us the same old thing, make it amazing. Don't give us the same old thing and make it suck, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really what Xbox is doing. And it sucks because I've been an Xbox guy since for the last decade of my life. And I'm officially going to switch to PlayStation. And it's solely for legitimately the reason Caleb just said, exclusive. Because I want to play The Last of Us. I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I want to play these story-based and rich games. That Sony is just fucking murdering right now.
Yeah. Well, there's your study done by Ethan and Caleb.
Yep.
Exclusives. Get better exclusives. Get not even better. Just get more exclusives, and maybe you'll get more sales.
Dude, come out with, and we'll end it here or move on, but like, come out with one badass story. Put all your fucking eggs in one basket. Contribute most of your time to marketing this, pushing it. Put your where else are you putting your time? Into a great system. But what is a great system if it's not going to be produced or if it's not going to be used?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Like you have all these great specs. If you're showing me this fucking beautiful ass camera and I don't know how to use it and I don't want to use it, then what's the point? It's the same thing with Xbox. They have all these great specs, but you have nothing to use it with, and then there's no point. Take all your time making at least one awesome, great new franchise exclusive. Forget Halo. Create something new that's 2020, not 2003, and then maybe they'll have something. I don't know.
There we go. You heard it. Moving on to TV. We'll blow through this real quick. We don't have too much. So first, the first episode of season 3 of the Umbrella Academy they've revealed the name. It's called Meet the Family, which Steve Blackman, who's the writer, he shared that's going to be the title of the first episode, which, if you remember, spoiler alert here from last season, we left off with our Umbrella Academy meeting a new Umbrella Academy when they go back to their future. Or is it their future? It doesn't really look like it, does it? So we'll see. You liked Umbrella Academy, right, Ethan?
No.
You hated it?
No, never. I tried one episode, didn't get into it.
Oh, damn. So I just spoiled it for you?
No, it's okay. I never planned on watching it, so I didn't stop you.
Oh.
I mean, I gave it a good fair shot, and I can't really tell you why. It just didn't pull me in. I felt a little phony. I felt like it was a little rushed. The one-liners were there. It was quirky. It was cool. But you know me pretty well when it comes to what I like. I'm an old traditionalist. I love rich enrichment origin stories, and I didn't get that there. And and people could argue that, like, Ethan, they had great origin stories. I just didn't believe it, and it was rushed, and there were so many of them, and I just didn't. I thought the origin story had a lot of potential. It just kind of blue-balled me a little bit.
Gotcha. I will say season 2 is better than season 1. So if you ever give it another chance, you have that to look forward to. And knowing you, I think you would actually like reading the comics more than watching the show. The comics are a little bit more out there, a little bit more weird and zany.
I will take your word for it, because I will say that this will forever live in infamy for this podcast. This podcast single-handedly got me into The Boys because I never watched it or heard of it before this podcast. I never heard of it. And then when you guys were coming on the podcast, I listened to the first episode. So it did spoil it for me. Because I was like, I'm a reader. I like to analyze things. So I was like, I don't really care. I'll watch it and I'll go with the podcast. And honestly, I'm not exaggerating. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Nice.
It was I got to say it's top 5. Maybe when I make a top 5, it might be left out on the fringe, but it's top 5 on that fringe, sure. Really in there with Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones. It's in that mix, and it's everything I've wanted. I mean, I got to give it a 9.3 out of 10 overall. I mean, I've finished 2 seasons, and it's fucking great. Like the first season pulled me had that great beginning origin story. And then not to spoil too much, but when the end happens, I'm like I was in. They were reeling me in.
Oh yeah.
But that thing fucking yanked me, dude, pulled me onto the boat. I was fucking in. I was buckled up. I was like, it just had that shock factor with the storytelling. And that's what I love. Like, not only do I love dramas and action, I love them combined. I love the drama with 75% drama, 25% action. And that's really The Boys. That's really what it is. So
yeah. Awesome. On a sadder note, The Office is leaving Netflix. We've known this is going to happen, but we're a month out now. This comes out on Tuesday, December 1st. So you got 1 month to watch The Office. December 31st is the last day. On New Year's Day, it'll be gone. I've wondered if I just have it like on, like I take off the like, are you still watching? I don't think you can actually do that on Netflix, but if I take that off and I just have it continuously playing on my TV, if it'll stay on there after.
Oh my God.
After midnight, we'll see. I don't know. I might.
Some people are going to do some crazy things. I mean, one of the best, one of the craziest groups, culture or whatever I want to say, is Office. It's insane. Like, I mean, I love Office. I've seen it all the way through 3 times, but I used to be a part of Office group on Facebook, and some of these people I've seen it through like 30, 40 times. It is these ultra fans are really ultra fans.
I've seen it probably. It's got to be at least 15 or 20 times.
Yeah, you're one of the people I'm talking about. Holy fuck.
No, and honestly, I've thought about, Jess and I have talked about this, like, what are we going to do when it's off Netflix? Because, like, that's what we put on when we're, like, doing stuff, or, like, if we're about to go to sleep. Like, just, like, because we've seen it so many times, we don't have to, like, super pay attention. We can, like, say the next line that somebody else is going to say. So we're like, what are we going to do when they take it off? And I'm probably just going to buy the whole series on iTunes, honestly, and just keep like, a digital copy going or something.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've read, this is super inconvenient because I'm a very traditional guy. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm a very set in my ways. I'm literally my grandfather's grandson for sure. So really, I'm like 28 going on 60. I do things consistently, routinely. I don't like change. I don't like new things. That being said, I think this is going to be convenient because it is going to Peacock, right?
It is, yeah.
And Peacock is free, right?
Some of Peacock is free.
Okay. So
like certain things, if you want to watch it, you have to have that Peacock subscription.
Do you know the deets for that?
Do I know the details?
Yeah. Like, how is it going to be? Like, is that going to be Office? Is it going to cost money?
I would assume it's going to be The Office, because it was something that I was like, because I have it on my Apple TV. It was something I was looking to watch on Peacock that I was like, oh, I'll just kind of put this on while I'm doing whatever. Yeah. And it's like, oh, if you want to watch this, you have to have like the premium.
Oh, okay.
Which is premium.
I watch soccer on there.
Yeah, is $4.99 a month. Premium Plus, which is basically like Hulu without ads. So Premium Plus would be $10 a month, $9.99. And I just don't really want to pay for another subscription service. So if it is one of the free ones, that'd be cool. But I just feel like it's one of those shows that everybody is gonna like migrate to like they're counting on this to get them more revenue, so it's probably gonna be behind that paywall. I haven't like looked it up or seen if they said, but if I had to guess, I would say it's gonna be behind.
I think that's accurate speculation, because how much did they have to cough up to buy this? Right, they had to go out of their way to buy the rights from Netflix, correct? I mean,
I don't know if they had to, because NBC is the one who aired The Office originally, so I think they own it. But I think they just had to wait for Netflix's contract to expire, and they just didn't renew it because they were like, well, we're gonna just bring it back to us, you know.
Sure,
So
sure.
I don't think they had to pay for it, but I think they're counting on getting paid once it comes over, you know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah, so that's sad. The Percy Jackson show that's coming to Disney Plus, the series scripts, they're complete. They've been sent for approval. The movies were kind of shit. I've got high hopes for the show. We'll see. Did you see the movies?
I never did, but it's funny because I'm the opposite. Most people probably can't relate to this, but I teach high school English, 12th grade. So I teach the story Perseus every year. So that what it's based on pretty much in its rich tradition ways. And all my students are like, oh, it's like Percy Jackson. I'm like, yeah, a little bit, sure.
Sure. Broad strokes.
Literally, so it's very roughly loose based upon, or Percy Jackson's very, very roughly based upon Perseus. So I have not seen him, but I know it's Logan Lerman, and I like Logan Lerman because I liked Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I like Fury. I like what he's in, but I just never watched it. It just never happened. You know, the stars didn't align for that to occur for me. So
yeah, I mean, you're not missing much. We'll see.
yeah.
I'm
I will
pretty
watch
sure.
the show though, for sure. I've been excited about it. Like I haven't looked into details as much as you have, but I have been like waiting for a release date, hearing about it. So I am excited in that regard.
Yeah, I hope it's better than the Artemis Fowl that they did, which I didn't watch, but I've read the reviews and I saw the trailer. I could tell from the trailer, like this is nothing like the books. We don't have to get into it, but it looked like shit. It was shit according to the reviews. Did you actually watch it?
Okay, we're not gonna get into it. I promise we're not. We got to move on. But I hate being such an extreme person because when I say extreme things, they may be taken with not very much fluff or not very much depth. But Artemis Fowl, I think, had to have been one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Really, Jared Webb and I, a friend of the show, we watched it together over the summer, and I looked at him at the end and I said, you owe me 2 hours. Like you literally owe me 2 hours back in my life. It was absolutely atrocious. Like the follow through, the execution, the storyline, and the action was laughable. It was a joke I want to give it a 2, but I can't. I seriously cannot give it anything past a 1. I mean, truly, I'm not trying to be a big shot or, talk shit on it, but I really have no justification for giving it anything higher than a 1 out of 10. It was absolutely atrocious. And I like the books, and it had nothing to do with the fucking books. It was just atrocious.
Yeah. Sad.
Yep.
Stranger Things, we've got some new characters announced for season 4. We'll run through these real quick. Jamie Campbell Bower, you'll know him from Sweeney Todd. He was also Grindelwald in the last couple of Harry Potter movies. He not the Fantastic Beasts, but the actual Harry Potter movies. He is going to be playing Peter Ballard, a man who works at a psychiatric hospital. Eduardo Franco plays Argyle, Jonathan's new best friend. Joseph Quinn will take on the role of Eddie Munson, who runs the Hellfire Club. The title of the first episode is actually the Hellfire Club. Okay. And the Hellfire Club is Hawkenhigh's official Dungeons and Dragons club. So that'll be pretty interesting. We talked about it. It was either last week or the week before that Robert Englund, aka Freddy Krueger, he joined the cast. He is going to be playing Victor Creel, a man imprisoned in a psychiatric hospital for a murder years ago. Told you he was going to be a villain, Clay. Or maybe he's getting framed. Who knows? Other roles, Game of Thrones' star Tom Wallachia, I don't even know who that is playing Dmitri, a Russian prison guard who befriends Hopper. Nikola Jurek. These are very Russian names. Nikola Juriko is a Russian smuggler named Yuri. Sherman Augustus as the intelligent, no-nonsense Lieutenant Colonel Sullivan, and Mason Dye as Jason Carver, a sports star dating the most popular girl in school. So a lot of new characters, which could be good, could be bad. It depends on how much time they devote to these characters. I feel like introducing a lot of new characters can sometimes shoot you in the foot. So we'll see.
I'm super excited for it, but it's been a while. What do we know? I mean, I know Corona, I've read that where it kind of delayed it a little bit, but it was supposed to come out around a couple months ago. If it not supposed to, but if they're consistent with their past releases, they did one a year, right? Mm-hmm. Or did they? I think they might have skipped a year in there somewhere.
I think it might have been 2 years. Yeah, they skipped.
Yeah, they did.
I think between 1 and 2 they did.
Yeah, 2016. I think it was.
Yeah.
So it came out 20 or 20. I don't remember the dates, but
you were 2016. Right. It was definitely last year, 2019.
I think it was they skipped between 2 and 3, Caleb. I think my guess is 2016, 2017, and then 2019.
Maybe.
I think that's what it was. I'm gonna fact that check that up for our audience
Okay.
because
As you're saying that,
yep.
you were right. It was expected to come out in 2020, but with Corona and all that, it's been officially delayed to 2021. We don't know when in 2021. We just know it's coming next year, and it's going to be 8 episodes.
Okay.
And Ross Duffer, one of the Duffer brothers, the showrunners, he said season 4 won't be the end. We know what the end is, and we know when it is. Now, originally they said they were going to do 4 or 5 seasons. So I'm thinking we're going to get that 5 seasons. They got to. These kids, I looked up pictures of them. They look old as shit. And unless they're like moving forward in time, which I mean is possible, then they're gonna have to hurry it up.
Yeah. And I did check that, and I love being right, which I usually am. Season 1 premiered July 15th, 2016. I remember because I was moving to Orlando, and I'm not trying to be like this fucking hipster or whatever, but I am gonna pat myself on the back because I got everyone in my close circle on it. I watched it when it came out. Like I had just graduated from college, literally just like a week prior, and I had nothing to do, no job, nothing. So I sat at my grandma's, binged it, and was like, holy fuck, what did I just watch? I got my girlfriend then at the time on it. I got my sisters on it and my mom on it, and it was just absolutely amazing. And then to get back to the point at hand, October 2017 was season 2, 2-year break. Season 3, July 4th. I remember it came out Independence Day. My sisters were visiting here in Miami. We binged it all while they were here. And that's crazy. They just release it all at once. Do you think they'll do that going forward for season 4? Do you think they'll still do the same thing now that it's popular to release it one at a time like Mandalorian's doing?
Yeah, no, I think Netflix will continue to do their full releases. I think that's just like a Netflix thing.
Yeah, I like working by my time, and I'm not like a lot of people, and they'll binge it right away. I mean, aside from season 3, because my sisters were here only for a week, we watched it within a week. But otherwise, it would take me, a little bit of time. I don't binge it all right away.
Sure.
I like to work by my time. But
makes sense. Moving on to movie news. We only got a couple things here. Mads Mikkelsen officially replaces Johnny Depp. You remember last week we talked, he was like in talks or whatever. It's official now. He's replacing Johnny Depp. I'm not mad with it. They look pretty similar. Somebody's done like the Photoshop to do like the Grindelwald look that they have in Fantastic Beasts movies. And it looks pretty similar. So it won't be like too eye jarring to see a different actor, I guess. And he's a good actor. So I'm not mad at it. I'm mad that Johnny Depp got fired, but
of course.
But we talked about this last week. It just doesn't make sense to me that he's fired and she's not, because they were both kind of like in the same kind of squabble, and WB
if it's all
both.
Yeah. If it's all hearsay, you don't have proof regarding one way or other. Why not? Just if you're going to make one decision one way, you have to make it the other way. It's same in football, right? If you're going to make a ticky-tacky pass interference call, you better fucking make it the other way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you're going to make a call that you're not sound on, you better make it the other way. Because if you make one non-sound call and one sound call, then you're fucked up.
Exactly. Clifford the Big Red Dog. We got our first look at Clifford. Have you seen this, Ethan?
Yes, I have. And oh my
what
God,
are your thoughts on
fucking Twitter? Like, they talk so much shit, and I'm like, it's a big red dog. So what the fuck do you expect? Like, they're roasting how it looks, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's a live action big red dog. Like, the dude is big. It's a red dog. Like, what are you gonna have? Like, just a live action with a fucking sticker of a big red dog on there? Like, it's not how it works. I thought it looked fine. I thought it looked all right.
I thought it looked a little weird, but I'm not going to roast it on Twitter or anything. Let me preface this by saying I don't think this movie is necessary. Like, we don't need to take everything and just make it a live action movie.
Dude, I never thought about this once in my life ever.
Yeah,
like,
I've never been like, you know what I really want? A Clifford the Big Red Dog live action movie. It does look a little weird. I mean, it just looks like they enlarged a lab puppy or like a. Like it doesn't. I'm not roasting the look. Like, sure, it's a dog. It's a big red dog. He's drawn kind of like a lab. I'm roasting the technical aspects of it. Like it looks sloppy. Which again, this is a first look, so I'm sure they'll touch it up later. It just compared, like, because they had it going down a row of real dogs, and then it got to that dog. I was like, that was your first mistake, because I can compare the real dog to this CGI dog, and it just looks a little off.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and it does look like he's just dipped in fucking ink. Like,
right, yeah.
It doesn't look like they should make it where he's his own species, because if you look at animated series, it looks believable. It looks real. It looks like there's no other kind of dog like Clifford. But if you look at this dog, it literally looks like a golden retriever enlarged and dipped in ink. So maybe I retract my initial statement a little bit, because I mean, now I'm looking at it. I mean, it does look lazy, and literally the picture, they're just stickers, cutouts of other dogs.
Yeah.
Like, look, I don't know if this is the official thing I'm looking at. I'm pretty sure it's the initial thing that I saw.
No, it is. If it's like all those dogs like lined up and then Clifford next to them.
Yep, it's a corgi, French bulldog, and then an English bulldog, and then some type of mastiff, and then fucking. And if you look at it, you can see some inconsistencies in the color. Like, you literally see an orange hue on his chest and then a red hue on his feet. I mean, not to be super nitpicky, but like, whoever fucking photoshopped this didn't even do a good job. Like,
yeah, no, it could look a little better, but like I said, this is just our first look. I'm sure they're still like testing and fixing and all that. So I'm not like horrible. I'm probably not even gonna watch the movie, if we're being honest. So I don't really give a shit. But there you go. If you want to check it out, see what Clifford looks like in live action, be my guest.
And let us know.
Yeah, send an email, masters.cultureverse@gmail.com. Hit us up.
Dude, how
on
awesome
Instagram.
would it be if you guys got an email of just someone who's a fucking Clifford the Big Red Dog fan? It's been his life. He loves this shit. He lives for this shit, and gives us a detailed analysis. That would be tight.
I would love that. I would read the whole analysis on air.
Oh, for sure, dude. Give me your capstone paper. Give me a 30-page paper, dude. Take us to school. That would be tight.
I love it. Now we're moving on to our main topics. We're going to talk Mandalorian first. So if you're not caught up, this is your spoiler warning. 3, 2, 1. All right, Ethan, I believe in the group chat you said like this was the best episode of the Mandalorian period, and I agree.
Man, I couldn't agree more. I when I posted that in the story, you reacted immediately, like, agreed. I was like, sweet, like, it wasn't even close for me. Like, there's not another episode that comes close, because it's everything I've wanted to play in a video game. Star Wars canon to come to life, and Star Wars is my medium, right? Like, yours is Avengers, Star Wars is mine. Anything, I love it. And seeing Ahsoka Tano, and just, I mean, it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like, we got her this own little origin story, not necessarily of Ahsoka Tano, but we had some speculation and some inferring to do as an audience, which I love. As audience, give me a little bit and I can fill in the rest. You don't need to do it all for me, right? We got that on this planet, of that this magistrate was obviously took a well-flourished economy of maybe socialist people who lived amongst themselves, and then they were taken to more of authoritarian way with this magistrate, and you could tell how everyone was timid. Don't talk to me, because they were under the impression that they would have died and under this lady. And I love that, like, because they're relying, Jon Favreau and Dan, what's the guy's name? Thank you. They believe in the audience, which I love. They believe in the audience to be smart and to use these inferences, because they give us a little and we have to fill in the rest with these episodes. And we did it with that episode. You had to fill in a lot of blanks, but the blanks for me weren't up to question. I think those conclusions we all drew were pretty similar and pretty accurate. And, my only knock for Mandalorian, because it's an easy 9 out of 10 for me. And the only reason it's not 10 is because of these Saturday-like quest episodes that you get here and there.
I know you don't like those.
Yeah, I fucking hate them, because, but I will say this. The only person that's changed my mind on it to ease my way back into it was you, when you told me it just, if you picture it from a different way, that, it's just kind of like you have your bowl of cereal on Saturday and you're taking a little sidestep, right? You're on this big, this spaceship, and these side quest episodes, you're just kind of making a pit stop and having a little fun, and and you're getting back on it. And this episode, he got back on it, right? Episode 3, he was back on. Episode 1 and 2 weren't. 3 he was. 4 he wasn't. 5 he was, right? Back on this big quest, which is to spoiler, obviously we've already spoiled enough, but Grogu is his name. Baby Yoda's real name, because that's our quest right from the get. The plot of Mandalorian is Mandalorian has come into ownership of this child of this species, and he's trying to find a place. He grew accustomed to it. He grew this fondness of it, And he had a bounty, all this, whatever. We've been that far. But the point is now his motive, his quest is to take it somewhere, to get proper training, to have a life, to become a Jedi, to live out his life and to do it the right way. And we're back on that. And that episode was, dude, I'm not even kidding. It made me emotional. Like, it's everything I wanted with the last, the new trilogy of Star Wars films.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just everything, man. I'm like, holy fuck, that literal 40 minutes just redeemed The Last Jedi for me pretty much. Like, and I fucking hate The Last Jedi. You know that I fucking hate that piece of shit existence of a film. But I could just, I could have a whole podcast episode on how amazing episode 5, chapter 13.
Yes, I believe so.
Yep. Chapter 13 was. And your thoughts before I keep going on it.
Oh no, yeah. I thought it was great. I loved finally seeing Ahsoka. Me and Clay had been discussing this for we've been waiting for her, because I was like, I need to see some lightsaber. Like, this is Star Wars, Star Wars. You immediately think lightsabers. And I'm like, the bounty hunter is cool. Jin, love him. He's awesome, but I want to see some lightsabers, right? And we got that awesome lightsaber duel with, she had lightsabers and the magistrate had the Beskar spear, which was really cool, because we haven't seen in like a live action medium. I don't know that we've seen in a animated medium like a Beskar like spear or some kind of Beskar weapon against a lightsaber, which we know Beskar is like one of the only things that can like deflect lightsabers and all that. So it was really cool to see. I loved the like Kill Bill, Lady Snowblood kind of homage we got there with that duel that they were having. Is really nice aesthetically and cinematically. Learning the Baby Yoda's name, Grogu. A lot of people I saw were like, "What? It sounds like some kind of soup I'd order in Star Wars, not like a name." I'm like, okay, so Yoda sounds like a name to you, but Grogu doesn't. I was like, it's the same.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, so now we're gonna start calling it Grogu. People are, I'm probably still gonna call him Baby Yoda from time to time, because Baby Yoda is just so catchy, and this is what we've been calling him for over a year. I was a little like, of course, when we find the Jedi, we've been searching for the Jedi to bring Grogu to this Jedi, and then Ahsoka's like, yeah, I'm not gonna train him, and I'm like, fuck. She's like, take him to this temple. I'm like, we gotta do something else with him, but I'm like, her explanation saved that for me, because she was talking about how like he's already gained attachment to Mando, and she's seen this before, and she's obviously referencing Anakin turning to Darth Vader when she's talking about all this stuff that she's seen happen before, and she doesn't want to be the cause of it to happen again, which I was like, that's fantastic. It's great, because I feel like most of the Star Wars story would be like, it wouldn't exist if Qui-Gon Jinn had just fucking been like, you know what, you're right, Council. Maybe I shouldn't train this kid. He is kind of a little dickhead, right? But Qui-Gon insisted, and the Jedi relented, and then we got Darth Vader. But I thought it was a great episode.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, for sure. If Qui-Gon Jinn would have just shut the fuck up and let Obi-Wan, take the reins, and even though he was his Padawan, but still, we would have had anything of Star Wars. But question, that's where it takes place, right? Because I know it's after the Clone Wars, but it's like a kind of around Rogue One, right? Like,
No. Are you talking about Mando?
Yeah.
No, it's after the Empire Falls. It's after episode
5.
Say again. 6. After 6.
Okay.
We're 5 years after 6.
Okay. I did not know that. I didn't do enough to look into to when exactly it took place, but that makes sense, because she did reference Yoda a lot, and Yoda was more so became famous in the original.
Right.
With his because he was obviously known in the prequels. He was still in the council, but as far as to being a Jedi trainer with Luke and everything, it came to life in 4, 5, and 6. But just to reference it a little bit more, that's what's going to happen, because each episode, even if it's a side quest or main quest, it's standalone episode. You're not going to carry on in the same respect as you are in the previous episode. So when they're on this planet, you're not going to get this planet anymore. That's it. Right. This planet, he's moving on. That's it. Even if it's a side quest, main quest, it doesn't matter. So I was taking it all in as I could and just enjoying every bit of it. And I liked it because she said no at the beginning, But then when he said that she paid me to kill you and do all this stuff, that she kind of changed her mind. It's like, that's what was badass to me, because I was like, fuck, he's gonna have to fight her. Like, fuck, that's gonna suck. But then they went against her and fucking took everything back, and that was beautiful to me, man. That just literally fulfilled everything I wanted. So when she said no at the end, I really didn't care enough, because it was like, I was just thinking about it. After you nut, you just don't care because you're satisfied as fuck. That's literally what it felt like, dude. I'm not trying to be fucking so graphic, but literally, dude, after sex, you're just like, I don't give a fuck what's for dinner, man. I'm fine,
Right.
And that's what it was like for me, dude, because they gave back these townspeople their life, their country back, or their retrospect in their mind. I was satisfied enough. I got that what I wanted. They came together, a bounty hunter, a Mandalorian, and a Jedi combined forces, and they took out an oppressive force in a great way, and that was so fucking badass. And when she said no, I was a little upset, because I love Ahsoka, and fucking she's so hot. God, what's her name? Rosario Dawson. Thank you. I'm an idiot, because I kept calling her Eva Mendes, and I'm like, fuck, that's not Eva Mendes. I get them mixed up. Rosario Dawson, and she killed it. She absolutely killed her portrayal of Ahsoka Tano, and I knew it wasn't going to happen, but when they take away, they give it as well, because no, you don't get Ahsoka to train Grogu, but someone has to.
Sure.
So maybe is this next person, are they going to be as cool? Are they going to be cooler? So it's just like they blue ball you a little bit, but they also left you satisfied. And it's also to the point where they can capitalize. Now, and you can think of it this way. We got Ahsoka. Like, we got her, and now we get someone else. So if Ahsoka was the one to train him, maybe we wouldn't get what we're going to get in the future with someone else.
Sure.
So more is better. I'm trying to think of it from a positive point of view, because I was a little upset, but I'm like, it's expected. They're moving on to the next quest, the next thing, the next chapter. It's a chapter. Really, they call the episode, or the episode's chapters, rightfully so.
Right. Now, I was watching a YouTube video, and they were talking about this, and Ahsoka's asking the magistrate, like, where is your master Thrawn, who is big in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and whatnot. And they were saying this looks like an Ahsoka Tano backdoor pilot for her own show, because she's going to be going after Thrawn, because that's kind of what she does at the end of Rebels. If I didn't watch it, but I've seen like enough recap videos and stuff that I know a little bit about it. And I'm pretty sure at the end of Rebels, she's going to look for, I can't remember his name. It's not Ezekiel. It starts with an E. But because he gets lost in some kind of time rift. But she's going to look for him in Thrawn, because he takes Thrawn into that rift or some shit like that. So she's asking where. So it does look. I'm rambling. It does look like it might be a backdoor pilot, but I also think we're gonna see more of her in the Mandalorian. We have to, just based on like everything we've got. So I'm excited to see more of her. It's really fun. She's Rosario Dawson's a great actress. A lot of good action. Loved it. Let's talk Bachelorette real quick. It was kind of a cut and dry episode. Not really too much craziness happened until the end, in my opinion. So we'll like run through it really quick, because I know Jess wants to get a tree, and I think they close here pretty soon. But going through real quick, we had a group date. They had to write a song for Tasha, right? And they all suck. The song sucked, but like, what do you expect? Even boy band manager, his song sucked. Kenny.
I liked Ivan's a little bit. I mean, because he's a little.
I like that Ivan didn't try to play an instrument that he didn't know how to play. He just stood there and
did it from the heart.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they all should have done, but no. And then, well, speaking of Ivan, we got their like one-on-one, which was really cute. They had I thought they bonded like really, like they played games and did all kind of, because they're in a bubble essentially. They're just on this resort, so there's not much they can do. They can't go traveling like they usually do on the Bachelor/Bachelorette. But then when they're outside, they're having that like deep conversation about Ivan's brother and like George Floyd and things like that, and both being like half black, and she's half black, half Mexican, I believe, and he's half black, half Filipino.
I think that's right.
And so they're like relating to each other in that sense, and it was very touching and very like nice. I'm trying to think of a better adjective than nice, but I don't know. It was just nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then cut to like we have this very tender, very soft, poignant moment, and then we cut to this like truth or dare challenge that they have going
Oh
on, where
God.
they're like drinking bull testicles or something,
That
making
was
sex
insane.
noises.
Was it like chasing the one that literally fucking audibly cummed into the microphone? I
I
think it was him, or,
I
or it was
think
one of them.
no, it was Kenny. It was Kenny.
Kenny, he's escaping me.
Tattoo boy band manager.
Yes, it was. Then they kind of look like it. They kind of look
They
like.
do.
And
They do look similar. They got the same
spoiler
hair.
alert: they both went home.
For real.
So
No,
it was.
and
Yeah.
fucking Ben is like, don't worry about that. I'm like,
It was so annoying, dude.
don't
Like he
worry
went
about
over
what are
the
we not
top.
what are we not worrying about?
Oh, it's so funny.
No, but I mean, but Bennett does redeem. Like it was annoying, but and over the top. But Bennett does redeem himself because they have to do that proposal, and then afterwards during the the evening portion, the cocktail portion or whatever, he was talking to her about how like he hadn't really pictured that doing that or whatever, but then like doing it put into perspective, like this is like what the goal is, this is what they're
Sure.
moving towards.
Sure.
And he said something about like being happy it was her, or like he was ready to do it with her, something to that effect, which I thought was nice because I don't think he's going to win, but I like Bennett. Just I think he's funny and entertaining, so
Yeah.
keep him.
I do not like him at all. And I think I'm an unpopular opinion because everyone on Twitter is like, I saw a fucking meme. It was like, oh, when Bennett does anything, it's like this girl licking her phone screen. And I'm like,
I'm not that bad.
Dude, I don't like him. I want to say like at all. Like, I mean, I'm trying to be like realistic here, but and I need to have cause or reason for my cause, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he went to Harvard, and I appreciate that, but he's so fucking entitled, and he's not in. I don't like his social cues, and I don't want to say he doesn't have them. I just don't like his,
Mm-hmm.
because he feeds off of like authoritarian type, bully type vibes to me, and he just really. Maybe I was on the wrong side of the spectrum here because I was kind of on Noah's side. Like he literally just spoke what he felt like from his heart when he said that some guys were against him when he was speaking the fucking truth because they were. And Bennett was just like, how fucking dare you? Like, you're a little child. And when he said there's a 0% chance you're going to win, like that was just fucking mean. Like, just don't be that fucking dick. Like, keep that to yourself. Like, why do you feel the need to say that to someone else? Like, you're literally belittling someone else. Like, he didn't say that to Bennett. He didn't say anything. Oh, he's a lesser person. He went outside of the reason, right? Of the focal point. The focal point is the conversation they had.
Mm-hmm.
That's aside from the point to say you have 0% chance. That's making fun of who he is as a person, saying his makeup, whether it be genetic, personality, isn't enough. And that really threw me off. Like, dude, calm the
I'm
fuck
sure they're
down. Like,
all thinking like
they're
have
upset.
the 100%.
They're upset and they're heightened,
Yeah.
and I get that. I get that. But maybe, we can't control our thoughts and emotion or our thoughts and emotions, but we can control how we react to them.
Sure.
And I think he reacted to them poorly.
Okay.
And yeah, don't like him.
No, you're fine. Before that happens though, the one of the producers like royally fucks Ed, because both Ben and Ed are trying to get to Tasha's room, right? They're gonna have like a conversation with her, and Ed's producer fucking tells him to go to Chris Harrison's room, so they end up like broing out, having some wine, and just like
That was so funny, dude.
it was hilarious because I was like, oh, who's gonna get there first? Like, and they kept tricking you. Like, there's a knock at the door. You thought it was gonna be Ed, but it was really just like somebody bringing champagne to Ben and her or whatever.
Yes.
But I thought it was like a funny little moment. But Ben apologized for like sitting on the sidelines, I guess, because that the one night when he didn't talk to her, and she was like upset about it because he was like, I want to be the last one, the last thing that's on her mind, the last one to talk to her, and he really like fucked himself. But then like, yes, like Ethan was saying, we moved to Noah talking to Tasha about how some of the guys are against him and all that other stuff and like causing drama. And then Tasha comes in because Tasha don't put up with no shit. And she's like, all right, you guys need to cut the drama, cut the bullshit, cut all this, and cocktail party's done. Let's get this rose ceremony going. Which I'm sure these bachelors and bachelorettes already know like before that night who they're gonna send home anyway. The cocktail portion is just like for show. But she was like, all right, I don't want to play games anymore. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
And then yes, we had that little confrontation with Bennett and Noah, and it wasn't just Bennett. It was a couple of the guys because they were upset that they didn't get any time with her and things like that. And then we send Chasen, Joe, fucking Shamar Moore. What is his name?
DeMar?
Jordan.
Okay.
And I feel like we sent somebody else home. Was it 3 or 4?
Oh, they went home?
Yeah.
I have the whole list. It's Kenny, Jordan, Joe, Chasen. So 4.
Gotcha.
I called from the beginning Joe's going home. I knew Joe was going home. He didn't get any time. She just wasn't feeling it. You don't.
I feel bad for Joe. He seemed like a cool guy. Like,
yeah, because with Claire, we got a little bit about him, but with Tayshia, just nothing clicked. And honestly, I don't think she was physically attracted to him. And that's a thing. Like with relationships, I think physical attraction is the basis foundation. But after that, physical attractiveness kind of goes away. Mm-hmm. Like you don't really care anymore because you care about their personality and how you are, your connection with them. Mm-hmm. Physical attractive is just the start, first base, really, and they couldn't get there. And I think that's why he left.
Yeah. I also thought Jordan was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was a surprise for me. Kenny and Chasen are literally the same person, pretty much. They look alike. They're fucking bro douches, pretty much. They have shitty tattoos and they're opinionated and they have a low tier IQ. So I'm not surprised. And Joe, like I said, I'm not surprised. I like him much more than those guys. But Jordan, I was surprised. I would pick Jordan over a bunch of guys for Tayshia. Going down a list really quickly, I'd pick Jordan over like Noah for her. Spencer.
Well, she likes Noah.
She does. But unfortunately, I know I was just talking shit about Bennett, but he is right. There's a 0% chance. Even if he makes it the top 2, which he won't, he's not going to win. It's just not going to happen. He's not for Tayshia, and we saw that with JPJ. Tayshia's very
mature.
That's definitely an adjective I was going to use, but she's like not aged, but like, oh my God, there's a word, sophisticated. Thank you. She's very sophisticated. Mm-hmm. And if you're not sophisticated, it's just not going to be with her. Noah's not,
I was surprised she kept Ed if we're
100%. 100%. I looked at Jess and I said, Ed's going home, Chasen's staying. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
But he's going home next. If he doesn't go home next episode, go home the one after that. He's not going to make it.
Yeah, no, he's not staying too long. I don't really remember what happened on the next time on, and so I don't
either. Jess, it's we. I leave, and because I don't like to watch it because it spoils too much for me.
Okay, I see.
Okay. Yeah, Jess watches it because she likes to make her picks in the league we're in. Sure. And you saw it worked out for her last time because she murdered. Did you see the recap?
No, I didn't look at it yet.
Holy shit, dude. She like blew us the fuck out of the water. It was insane. Like I'm trying to pull it up really quick. I don't know.
Yeah. I know the week before I forgot to put my picks in, so I have a big fat goose egg.
Actually, you won that episode, but she's in the lead with 518. Mm-hmm. But you had 178 points. She had 128, and I had 16. So
16?
16, dude.
Damn.
You had 178, I had 16. I picked a bad bunch of guys. But I think my picks tomorrow are good. But I picked guys like Spencer, who had a lot of screen time at one point. 2 episodes ago, he had a lot of screen time, and then they just completely fucked him. So, but I think tomorrow's the night for me. We'll see.
I feel it for you. Well, guys, that's our show. We want to thank you for joining us, and I want to thank my special guest host, the mighty Ethan Ragsdale here.
Yes,
that's your moniker.
That's my new nickname, the Mighty. I like it.
Yeah, Clay's the Invincible. You're the Mighty. I'm your friendly neighborhood.
Ooh, the Mighty, dude. I like it. Fuck yeah.
There you go. Welcome. I dubbed thee the Mighty.
Check me out on Instagram at the Mighty Ethan Ragsdale now. Changing it.
He's changing it. Awesome. Check us out on YouTube. Really. Just type Masters of the Cultureverse. Hi, YouTube. Apple Podcast, Spotify. We're on both. Make sure you send us an email, masters.cultureverse@gmail.com. Send us a DM at masters.cultureverse on Instagram. Whatever you want to talk about. You want to give somebody a shout out? You want to say happy birthday to a friend or something? I don't care. Make sure you share this podcast with at least one friend this week. Spread the news. Help others join the Cultureverse. We want to have as many people here as possible. I'm Caleb. That's Ethan. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
I got this shit knocking.